What's going on, gang? Mopar Man here. Out here on Friday, got another day off, luckily, especially on a Friday, payday. Trying to finish up the exhaust pipe, the custom bend exhaust pipe for the General Lee that's here in the garage at my buddy's house. Let me show you what I've been doing. As you can see from the last video, we bought 3 of these mandrel bent exhaust donuts, and I've been cutting up sections. As you can see, like this one here, I didn't have a chop saw, so I had to use a regular cutoff wheel. As you can tell, I kind of went off in an angle on this one a little bit, but anyway, I got all my welding equipment here. Decided to try out some Harbor Freight welding wire. It's all right. Here, I got a smudge on the lens. There we go. It's all right. It's I didn't know, but it's made in Italy. It seems to be all right. The stuff I've been buying at Menards, I've been buying at Menards. I didn't know it, but fine print says made in China. But it's been doing pretty good, treat me right so far. But I thought I'd give this stuff a try to see if there's any difference. Now let me show you what I'm working on, trying to finish up. As you can see, this looks like shit, pardon my language. I got to finish this seam around through here. But as you can see, this is what flux welding does. It puts all this flux powder residue all over and leaves splatter welds all over everything. I've bought this today at Harbor Freight too. I needed one of these. A lot of this will come off as splatter, especially if I tap on this with a straight edge and a screw and a little small hammer. A lot of these little splatters will come off of there, even though I sprayed this stuff with anti-splatter. But as you can see, I do pretty good welds, but there's just so much splatter that a lot of the places look like bird crap welds. And the other thing that plays a factor into it, this pipe, this cheap pipe from O'Reilly's or any of the auto parts stores, you got to make sure you grind a thin layer off on the outside where you're going to weld. It has some type of coating that affects the weld, and what will happen too is I got it on the lowest setting on my welder down there. It'll start melting through like it did here. So what you got to do is you got to start out here, get the weld going, and run and push that flux in the weld back and forth to get that to blend. And sometimes you might have to build it up a little bit and go across, but most of this stuff will get knocked off. And but anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. This is for the passenger side. As you can see, I had to put an elbow, that section of elbow there, straight pipe, another elbow, and I pre-mocked this up, tack welded the spots before I took it off to make sure it will fit once it goes back on there. But anyway, yeah, so when I come back, I'll have the seams welded up, I'll have everything scrubbed down, and then I'm going to take the grinder and the chisel and go over all these splatter welds and get these little splatter balls off of here, and show you how it looks after it gets cleaned up. Alright, I'm back from grinding and doing some more scrubbing with the steel bristled brush on the welds. So here's what we got. Like I said, this piece of pipe and this piece of pipe came from O'Reilly's. So do yourself a favor in the future, if you're ever going to have to make your own custom pipe, just go to the muffler shop or someplace that actually has the thick walled pipe that's the better quality stuff and get it so you can weld. As you can see, there's a few little splatters that I didn't quite grind off. I ground them down, but now it kind of looks like crack because I ground on the area to get the splatters off. But some of this does look like bird crap welds, and that's because I had to go back over it to seal the stuff up, because there were some spots where this cheap exhaust pipe just melted and burned a hole through. And like I said, it got on minimum setting down there. And I adjusted the wire feed itself. But the only thing that actually welded up good was it didn't burn through was the actual collector pipe that came from Hedman header, and then the mandrel bent piping, which you can see right here has a thick wall compared to, let me spin this around, that really thin walled stuff. But I've checked it for any pinholes, any exhaust leaks. There's none there. It's solid welds. And so when I come back, I'm going to have this bolted back up to the header, and then we'll get ready to finish welding the original exhaust pipe up to this pipe itself. So hang in there. Okay, so I got the pipe back in there. I tightened it up just enough around the collector to where it just barely had enough room to pivot until I got it in the position where I wanted it. So bear with me. I'm gonna put the old light on. Okay, so there it is. I just got to finish tightening them up. It's pretty much tightened. I had to tap it with a hammer to get it to pivot. That's kind of how tight it is. But anyway, got all this. I haven't scrubbed this yet with the wired bristle brush, but it's all on there. And I don't know who did the exhaust before, but I don't know if you can see it. Back behind the muffler, the pipe goes down underneath the rear end. I don't know why they bothered to do that. This side is just barely touching the bottom of the rear end. The one on the other side, it's got about 1.5 inch gap. There's hangers for each muffler. So what I'm going to do is, this is an Arkansas car with classic tags, antique tags I should say. I'll let my buddy know that if he drives this, he's got to be real careful on bumps and transitions and stuff, but he's going to have to get that exhaust pipe back there cut off and either do turn downs, or he's going to have that pipe, the main section, saved, and then have him do the arch and come down and meet that pipe, because that's just not, I don't know why they bothered to do that, because there's plenty of room between the gas tank and the leaf springs and all that stuff and the shock to get around there. But other than that, it's all done up, as you can see. Next video, I'll be this was the battery. In the next video, I'll be making a homemade battery tray for this General Lee. This is a piece of crap, flexible plastic piece of junk. I'm going to be modeling the battery tray that I make off of the measurements of this, because I have this angle plating. This, I'm going to clean it up and use that, and mount it to where it goes in there, just like I did for the Valiant. Sorry, sinuses. Anyway, then also, because this has got a pretty choppy cam and stock motor mounts, stuff like that, and the way those, in the previous video I told you about, mainly to this side. If I can show you real quick, put the light on. This tube right here you can probably just stick a big pin in between the steering box and the header pipe. And what this thing likes to do when it sits there and idles and it rocks back and forth, it likes to bang against that pipe. So probably this stud right here, I got a longer grade 8 nut and bolt, or I should say I got a longer bolt, and use this nut, and what I'm going to do is extend it out. And I've got this chain I brought with me, and I'm going to make a couple of anchors. I'm going to make sure it can't rock that way and rock the other way. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do in the next video. But let's see if I can get this fired up for you guys, because you heard it with open headers. This has just got like Super 40s on it. But with the exhaust put on now, let's see how it sounds. Okay, this car's been sitting for a while, so I don't know how it's going to do. I went ahead and poured some gas down the throat of the carburetor. Let's see how she does. Hopefully these are the right keys. Okay, so what's wrong with this one now? There we go. Put the choke on a little bit, pumper. See how the engine likes to shake. They told me that it's got a Mopar purple camshaft in it. Anyway, I'm going to shut this off, get a little fumigated in here. So, until next time.